Do we have any topics tonight?
We do. We have a few topics tonight.
We got a few topics tonight. I mean, we're gonna switch it up a little bit tonight because we got a slim team. Probably gonna do some music in here too.
So last week, after last week's show, I got a couple of messages from people that catch the show after the fact because they're stateside. And I got a question that said, with relation to spouses having really tight friendships with their best friends, but what if the relationship is fragile and you're starting to see some of the spouse's behavior with their best friend kind of make you guess or question their trust? Do you think a relationship can recover if the trust is fragile?
Probably not. I don't think so.
No.
It's kind of funny. I think it'd be. I don't know. When I think, yeah, if he's giving the guy friend more time than he actually does his partner, I don't think so.
So why do you think? I have a question about that actually.
Big trust issues have been probably.
That'll enhance the trust issues, right? So if you're okay, let's just make it the female and the male here for sake of clarity. If you're the female and you're married to a male and he has a very close relationship with a female, and he's dedicating a lot of time chatting with her, FaceTiming with her, whatever, and your relationship trust issues are already fragile. How do you recover from that? How do you rebuild? I said, talk to him about it and let him know.
Yeah, you can talk to him about it. Just don't come on like super strong. Like, hey, I think but say like, what I mean, I heard my friend said this, saw you with this female, and they think you're cheating, or no, just assume that it's more than what it actually is. But then that really, okay, now you assume that it happened. I'm actually make it happen now. So
assuming that it's cheating. So you're responding around the assumption that that there is something there.
Right.
And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the trust factor is already fragile.
Right.
And so anything that you see, you're going to start seeing it from the lens of trust issues, So at what point does online relationships become cheating? Or do you think that online relationships is not considered cheating?
I don't think online relationships consider cheating at all. I think it's just a way of entertainment for most guys. I mean, if a guy actually believes in that kind of stuff, I mean, that's where that whole catfishing and all that stuff comes into play when you actually, if you actually believe in that kind of stuff. But
so you don't think online relationships is considered cheating if you're in a relationship?
No. I don't think you. I don't know. I don't see how a person can get emotionally attached through a screen or through a text message.
Guys, chime in on this because I think this is a question that a lot of people have, a lot of couples and relationships have. I know I've talked about this with a few of my girlfriends a couple of times. So I think that there can be a fidelity issue with online relationships if you're in a relationship, and it has to do a lot with
it's nothing physical though. It's nothing physical.
With emotional. So you're looking at emotional and intellectual stimulation via someone online versus the very partner that you're sitting next to. Austin says, Sly and I disagree with King, but what's new? Thank you. So Sensei says must be a millennial talking, and that's really interesting. Do millennials have a different view on relationships? Do you guys
No, I'm not a millennial.
You're not a millennial? God dang.
No.
You're young looking. I thought you were a millennial.
No.
That's really, so if you're a millennial out there, chime in and let us know what you think. Because, well, he doesn't agree. I think that there can be fidelity issues with someone that you build a relationship with online. I mean, you may not be touching that person physically, but you do respond to them physically. And that's, having the heart rush when you hear that ding, having, saving all of your days worth of excitement to share with that person. No. And here's what's even worse, King. Like, if you and I are in a relationship and I am sharing with someone else things that I should be sharing with you and making you feel a part of my life, that's already interfering in our relationship, don't you think?
Maybe. But I probably don't care half of the time.
Well, then are you really vested in that relationship? I guess it has to do how vested you are, right? So if you're just like not vested, but what if it's your spouse?
It depends on what she's sharing, what information she's sharing. Like, if it's like just regular stuff that she talk about, like, I mean, all right, she's going to tell me anyways. I'm like, 90 times out of 10, I'm probably not going to pay attention to it throughout the day.
Yeah, I don't think that's stuff that cheating is made up of.
I don't know. I just don't see how you can be emotionally attached to a screen or like, I don't know. It's just probably not me. I'm probably a little cold-hearted when it comes to that. I actually think it's pretty entertaining because when I get stuff like that, I know females they're emotionally attached to some of the topics that I talk about.
How? Because you just said you don't understand how people
me personally.
Oh, you? Okay.
I don't get emotionally attached. Okay. Because then I start seeing like how the screen start changing. Like they'll start changing it to pink, and then like they'll start changing the thumb sign to like a heart or a flower
to you, right? When they're in communication with you,
right? And so I'm like, oh, okay.
So what do you think is happening there?
They're getting emotionally attached to me,
right?
But I
so you may not be reciprocating that, but something is happening in that exchange that suddenly the female is feeling some sort of attachment. And this is not to say that it's all sexual in relationship. I mean, we are trying to build in today's age, especially, some sort of attachment with people, right? And it seems much easier and less riskier when you're doing it online.
Right. Anybody can have a conversation online and then they get attached. I mean, like that person get attached. The one person get attached. But I've never been the person that get attached. If she can't physically like stimulate with a conversation and I can talk to her in person, I probably would never get have a type of connection with that person like that. That's just me.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know that is particular to you.
Yeah, like so if she's not intelligent enough to keep a conversation for an hour or two, I was like, oh, that's surprising. I didn't know that, or oh, I didn't know she thought that kind of way. Then yeah, that'd be somebody I'll actually pursue. But if it's
that can't happen online for you.
It can't happen online.
Okay. So we got another message here from Sensei. Think about all the people handicapped but still married. Relationship is much more, and yes, it's about the communication.
Handicap, what does that have to do with it?
So I think he's just putting out an analogy. I hope I'm reading that because I can't read right without my glasses. I can't see clearly. But I think that in today's age and how difficult it is to make connections physically with people, even though we are so severely overpopulated and people are literally living on top of each other, that emotional, physical, mental, spiritual connection that people form is much harder today because of the distractions of technology and social media and all that wonderfulness. And also the biggest thing is, face-to-face contact, you put yourself at risk for rejection.
I'm cool with rejection. I'm good. I mean,
yeah, but you're not a millennial, so I'm really curious how millennials think about this.
I don't care. Reject. Okay, cool. It's more.
It's the swipe right, swipe left, or whatever that is.
Yeah, you talking about Tinder?
Yeah, right. So it's so easy now to, even before that person opens their mouth, to say, yeah, no, I'm not interested. Whereas if you have to meet that person face to face,
and then they tell me no, all right, cool, bad, I'm not paying, I'm leaving.
But do you think that that's the majority of the people?
I don't think so, because nowadays a lot of guys fear rejection. They won't even talk to a female if they think they're gonna get rejected.
Right.
I was like, what's the worst thing she can say? No. It's the worst thing she can possibly say to you.
Right.
Everybody put on their pants the same way. So.
Right. Do you think that the effort to sustain a relationship with all these other distractions, social media, online messaging, texting, connecting with your high school, love, do you think that all those distractions are hurting our relationships, our intimate personal relationships with partners?
Like going back and trying to reach out to them?
Just do you think all those elements, the social media, the Facebooking, Snapchats and all that, do you think that that's putting a hindrance on our relationships?
I don't think so. I think if they put the emphasis on that, then it can be an interference. But if you don't really put an emphasis on it, I don't think it's that important. I mean, especially with social media, I never let social media drive a relationship.
Do you enamor other women through social media? Do you realize if you're doing that?
Like,
because you said, well, after we're talking for a little while, they'll put a heart in instead of a thumb, or they'll turn their screen page pink. Like, what do you think is happening in that dynamic? Why are the women suddenly changing the way that they approach you on social media?
Probably the conversation is good. I mean, I don't know. I can keep a conversation for a pretty long time. I mean, and I try to ask questions that other guys don't ask. So I'm like picking their brain. And a lot of
so that's inviting, right? That's inviting. Yeah, I think that
they're probably more open-minded than most guys. So.
And it's easier because it's behind a screen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for you, I don't think you'd have a problem having that conversation anyway, because
Nope.
In the little time I've known you, your personality is really open. But for anybody else, I think it's much easier to do it behind a screen. Yeah, I think that that's a minefield. Social media is a minefield for relationships.
Yeah, that poses a big problem, because I know, like, when I was coming up, you had to go and talk to a girl at the bar before you can, you really had to pick up a female. Like you
had to try.
You had to use pickup lines. I remember learning pickup lines from my older brother to go pick up females. Like, I remember when I turned 18 and when I first went to a bar, I used my brother's favorite pickup line.
What was that?
Something about I was running through heaven, something. And
an angel fell or something?
Yeah, something like that.
I remember that.
Something like that. It was something to that lines.
The heavens must be crying because they lost an angel tonight, or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
God.
So, I mean, you had to really learn how to use, like, smooth pickup lines to pick up female. Or icebreakers, like learn how to do icebreakers. Walk up to a girl and ask her what her favorite drink was, and order her a drink, and then you drink the exact same drink she's drinking, and pretend like you're interested, and then get the conversation going, or figure a way. What are her favorite things? Why she's dressing like this, or
do you think that's changed? Because I don't see a lot of that happening nowadays.
I don't see it either.
Yeah,
and me working at a dance club, I'd like to say, and, the guys that go there are really, really shy when it comes to.
Is it shyness, or is it that they just don't have enough practice?
Either that, or practice, or they don't have the confidence to talk to a female, or fair rejection. I remember, every day I have to ask a girl, hey, yo, can you go over and talk to this guy? He's really digging you, but he's kind of scared to come talk to you.
So the guy would wait for the girl?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, yo, you can't go and ask her, like, you're going to go spend money on her, you might as well, boss up and go talk to her. But
and I think we kind of miss that, that part of chivalry from a guy, the actual conversation starter is initiated. I do. I miss the conversation starter initiated by the guy.
Right.
Versus, I've gone out a couple of times and I'll watch. My favorite thing to do is people watch. Mm-hmm. And I'll watch and I'll see guys standing and looking, and you could tell that there's this whole conversation going on in their head, but they don't move from where they're standing.
Right. Or they try to pick the weakest girl in the club to go after, like somebody that's already been drinking, and they know that they're not going to get rejected, and she's probably not going to remember him the next day, or you know, however that works. I mean, guys do that too.
That's really sad.
It is. It is sad, but
really
it happens
sad.
all the time. I sit back and watch nowadays. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, he waited to wait till she started drinking.
Or he started drinking enough to get liquid
enough
courage,
confidence,
right?
Yeah, to go and talk to her. And the conversations don't even be about anything. It's just be like, hey, you want more to drink? Oh, yeah, I want more to drink. And the conversation is not even, you know, nothing fruitful at all. It's just like, okay.
Guys, I promise you, go out and talk to the girl that you're eyeballing, because the worst that can happen is that she may not be interested, but that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with where she is at. And I think that's for both genders.
Right.
But take the risk, like go out there and ask her, you know, or ask him. Just take the risk. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain if it becomes a yes.
Yeah, I had a girl that I was working with, and I worked with her like for 2 years. She never asked me anything while she was here. And then 6 years, 7 years passed by, and she finally hit me up on Facebook with the courage to ask me
on Facebook.
Yeah, on the Messenger.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things. It was like a regular, you know, out of the blue type thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, oh yeah, when I was your boss, I was like this and this and this and this. And I was like, oh, I never even know.
So why is it? Why don't we take those chances?
I don't know. And that person saw me every single day for like 2 years almost. Because even in we stayed in the same barracks, so she even saw me in the barracks too. So like 7 days a week.
So DJ Siren chimed in. He said, "You'll be in the same spot if you don't ask, or if she says no. At least you'll know the answer."
Yep,
That's
exactly.
so true. Thank you, Trey.
That's what I would say, man. I mean, females put on their pants the same way guys put on their pants.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that a long time when I first came in the Marine Corps. First sergeant told me that. He was like, yo, you don't have to be scared of anybody in here. I mean, like, everybody put on their pants the same way.
It's so true.
I was like, once I thought about it, I mean, all right, cool. You know, no more powerful than I am, or she's no more powerful than she is. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what I see in those nights when I just watch is women are becoming extremely assertive. Like they have no quarrels whatsoever. I know I don't have a problem asking somebody to dance or going up to somebody, but I'm super social and friendly, so that's easy for me.
I think that's a millennium thing.
Well, I'm not a millennial. Far from. I don't think. No, I'm not. But you know, I think it's a little harder for those that are a little bit more introverted. But I think women are definitely stepping up and you know, being more assertive that way. But then I hear from the guys, oh, you know, women are taking away the whole chivalry, and women are wanting to step up into and so it's like this kind of confusing message. You're not stepping up, but if we do, then it becomes a problem. And so
I like when a female tries to step up and shoot her shot. Like you know, it's actually interesting. I was like, all right, cool.
Right? I think so
like,
too.
All right. And then, you know, I'll go back and I'll shoot my shot. Like, all right, cool. That's how the flirting starts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good flirting thing. For me, I like it. I mean, and I do the exact same thing. So if I like a female, I'll go up and talk to her. The worst thing she's gonna say is no.
Well, and I think too, the intention, what is your intention in coming up to me to talk to me? Is it because you want to get to know me and see if there's something mutual there, or are you hoping to take me home with you? Like, I think sometimes
the whole objective is to take the female home.
What? No.
Oh, let me finish.
Oh my God, is that true, gentlemen?
Let me finish though. Like, so the whole objective is to take the female home. So, like, I mean, even if you go in there, you find out something's mutual, you're gonna build on that. But the long goal is to take the female home.
Really?
So it may take a month, 2 months, or whatever.
Oh, you mean not in the night, not in the very same night? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in the night.
No. The whole goal, the whole end goal, every guy's end goal is that.
I believe that.
I mean,
to get to know and see if this is a potential prospect for wiping up.
Yes.
I guess, I don't know. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the whole end goal, period. So if a guy said that's not the end goal, then he's most likely lying. I mean, yeah, he is lying.
At least I think that there seems to be just more openness to exploring if meeting somebody is your cup of tea, but also nowadays it seems more like everything has to happen in the first couple of weeks to see if, everything from saying hello to exchanging Snap usernames to having sex, all before you're even sure you want to even have marriage.
I think that's the interview process. It's a whole interview process. So
sex is now part of the interview process?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I might be a little more old-fashioned than
Yeah, I think that's a part of the whole, it's definitely part of the interview process because that's one of the things that's going to keep the guy home, first of all, when you do get married. So,
Wait, what's going to keep the guy home? I think we're ready for an argument here.
The sex. The sex is
sex is what keeps a guy home?
Yeah, that's one of the things.
Good is that true, guys?
Sex,
is that
sex,
like
cooking? Good, a house clean, cooking,
okay.
A girl that can cook.
So you're telling me that the criteria is for a man to stay home, and I'm assuming that's so that he doesn't go looking for other booty.
Yeah,
is good sex, good food, and a clean house.
Yeah, that's one. That's.
King, what year were you born? That sounds so like 1940s, 50s.
1986. 86.
All right. So, no, I don't think that's all that. I'm not going to speak for men, but I don't think that's all they need to keep them grounded and faithful.
That's a starting point. It's a starting point.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Okay. So, I think for women, oh no, that's a hard one. I don't know that we need so much.
For guys, is a loyalty for a female, and that's a loyalty. Yeah.
Loyalty, yeah. Consistency. Consistency is a big one, gentlemen. So having some consistency, keeping your word.
Yeah.
Right. Being reliable.
Yeah, that's all the things your dad teach you.
Right. Mm-hmm. And when that is not happening, so now the biggest competition, I think, is social media. It's not the guy next door anymore, right? The milkman, as they used to say. It's social media, and how the fantasy behind the wall of social media can really lead you to something else.
I got you. I was thinking something else totally. You said the milkman. I was like, huh?
No, because back in the day.
Yeah. I got it.
Back in the day.
I understand now.
So I don't understand, and if you guys are out there, please help chime in. What I don't understand is men who are unfaithful but are in a stable relationship, are happy, quote unquote, in their relationship, and women, not just men, what do you think they're seeking that they're not feeling fulfilled? Or is it simply just a physical, like, could it just be a physical thing?
It probably is. Sometimes guys just get, I'm not speaking for all guys. Some guys just get tired. And so they just go and see something new.
Get tired of what?
Seeing the same thing every time.
Is that true?
Yeah. And so that's why they go out and see something new and then come back. Is that the new thing? Still, it's just new.
The novelty of it,
yeah.
The being able to escape from it.
Yeah, and then you can come back to the normal life.
That's interesting.
It doesn't have nothing to do with the female, the partner. It's just, oh, okay. She does the same thing every day. She does this, the bed. Okay, I can. This girl says she can do this. I go try it out. It's like going to like you have the main course every day, and then like you go and get dessert one day.
So who decides what? So why not say I need something different? I need something more. Why go outside of your relationship and risk losing so much with the person you say you love, just to try something new?
I don't know. Sometimes the guy is just probably not. He doesn't have enough heart to go and tell the female that, hey, it is what it is. They just go and do it and try to cover their tracks.
I think.
But what usually happens is they just keep continuing to do the exact same thing, and it becomes a really big thing.
I think sometimes, I think sometimes there's this perception of being trapped in a relationship where it has nothing to do with the partner, right? But you have obligations, you have children, you have a home, you have the paper that says you're married. And it gives this false sense of entrapment, I think, for couples. And it also, that combined with this unfulfilled space in the person where they're seeking something, whether it's with their wife or not, or outside of the marriage, they're seeking something for themselves that they can't find. And what is sad, what I think, is that none of it is outside of themselves. So, I'll know people who are genuinely happy in their, at least that's what they say, relationship, quote unquote, happy. But then, they go out and will pursue something outside the marriage. And it just feels like it isn't something just physical. It isn't something, where they're mentally stimulated, even though it's out there. It's that something is missing within themselves. That's what they're chasing. It's not necessarily that they're chasing the other person, but they're chasing something that they feel is missing within themselves. I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Chime in and share your thoughts on this thought.
That's a good, interesting point. I never thought of it like that. Now, I heard plenty of stories, like the story that I just described, or plenty of stories like that, but I never saw it that way. Really never saw it that way.
Because there are, I know of couples that started out as, in an infidelity and are now strong and happy. And that was just incompatibility with their partner. The unhappiness of the relationship and the termination of the relationship was just incompatibility with their partner, and they happened to meet the one person they're with while they were married. And I'm not by any means am I condoning any of this. To each his own. But I think when you can say from one side of your mouth, no, I'm happy and I'm in love with my wife. However, what do you think about this? Then it's not about the wife. It's not about the potential lover. There's something going on with you that you're trying to fulfill a need that you really can't get in any of the outside relationships. So this behavior will continue. At least, those are my two second thoughts.
What if they just switch it to an open relationship? I see a lot of couples do that too.
Right, but how many partners are willing to have an open relationship?
I don't know.
Is that like a thing?
But it's a thing. It's a thing. I know it's a thing because I've seen it. It's
been a thing for as long as the thing has been. But
I don't talk
is
to
it more popular now?
It's like, I'm in an open relationship. He's cool with it. He doesn't do certain things, and so that's the certain things that I go, I seek out from other guys.
So what do you think about open relationships? What do you think for you?
Me?
Are you down with open relationships? Is that something that you can?
I probably could do it. Because I've never been like the super jealous type, and I would try to figure out why she's doing the open relationship, or what this other person is doing that I'm not doing,
right? And
try to perfect my craft on that particular issue or thing in the bedroom or whatever. That led to going to an open relationship because it's something that led to go to an open relationship.
Right.
It's not something just pops up like I need an open relationship.
Something's missing. I
think
couldn't do it.
I think it's just a gateway.
Yeah, I'm with you. I couldn't do it. I don't care for sharing. And then, nowadays with so much going on with all these STDs and stuff like that would be a worry, but I couldn't do it because if there's something that you want to, like for instance, if there's something you want to do in the bedroom, right, that you're really curious about, and I'm just not open to doing that, there's this thing called mutual respect. Okay, well, you know what? You're gonna have to figure out your how to fulfill your desires in some other way and keep it a fantasy, because I wouldn't be open to saying, okay, baby, you go ahead and have your fun and experience that, and then come back home to me. Like I just couldn't do it. And I don't think it's a thing about me being selfish. I think it's for me, if you decide to be in a closed, intimate relationship, there are things that you negotiate, right? Because now there's two. It's not about your complete satisfaction and my complete satisfaction. It's about a negotiation of who we are mutually and how we're going to evolve and develop in the relationship. And if it means that I have to, maybe shut down one piece of my part of my desire so that it doesn't come between our relationship, then I'm going to do that, right? Like with everything, if we're trying to save financially and I have this habit of spending $50 in Starbucks every week, and it's interfering in my relationship, I'm going to stop it, right? So I think it should be the same way for sexual desires as well. Like tell you, hey, I have this sexual desire, and if you're not capable of supporting it, then I'm going to have to figure that out. Because it'll become an issue between our relationship. Right?
Well, I think it's already the issue.
Right.
So.
But I have to tell you it's an issue. Because if I don't tell you, then that's unfair to you, right? If I'm lacking passion in my relationship with you and I say to you, hey, honey, I'm not feeling really passionate. Like I feel like our relationship has become redundant and boring. And I will. Like I'm really open that way.
Right.
Then it's your responsibility to come to the table and say, all right, let's talk about it. Let's, how can we shake this up?
Right.
Right.
Put your cards on the table.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And not just for a sprint 2 weeks. I mean, this has to be a relationship shift. So going back to that original question of can a relationship be restored when trust is fragile? And you look at all these other things that are up against a relationship, it's tough.
Right.
But I think trust, I think a relationship can be salvaged if trust is fragile.
Right.
I do. It's going to take a lot of work. And it also means if I'm in the relationship.
Come on in.
Come in. Oh, I'm so excited. They made it. I think the DJ Siren and Mark, Trey and Mark. I think I lost my train of thought. At any rate, it's definitely salvageable. You know what? I think it. Huh?
No, this girl's listening from Komoto.
Oh, okay. It would mean that I would have to be really open to listening to things that I probably don't want to hear.
Right.
Like if a relationship is fragile. Hi.
Hi, love.
So happy you guys made it. Come on in. He can come in. Oh,
he's taking questions.
King.
Hi.
DJ Siren. Sorry, guys. I think that a big part of it is also being able to listen to what you don't want to hear. Like if your partner is going to tell you, hey, there's this issue in our relationship and it's not pretty. And I've been given some feedback and I'm like, wow, I did not even see that coming.
Right.
All right. I'm going to swallow that and just sit with it. And okay, that's how you see me. And just sit with it for a minute. But you have to be open to hearing the not so nice stuff from your partner. Right. So
you gotta have some tough skin.
Right.
Pretty much.
So I just wanted. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Oh yeah,
Say
we got.
Introduce yourself.
I don't know. This is ridiculous. So hi everyone. I'm Trey. Whoever's listening.
Like all crazy.
Gotta speak into the mic.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Trey. I'm a Marine. I've been here for like almost 2 years, and Rosie's my best friend, so I wanted to come show some support tonight.
Yay!
I love
thank
her.
You.
And I'm Mark. I'm also Marine. I've been here about the same amount of time, and we're here to support Rosie today. So.
Oh my God, this was not planned at all. I promise. So Trey's a DJ here on Island, and
yes, I do DJ.
And a model, and all these other wonderful things. And so I'm super excited to have you guys on. So we're talking about fragile trust in relationships. Mm-hmm. Can it be repaired? Mm-hmm. Can a relationship be repaired if trust is fragile?
Broken or just fragile?
Let's just say fragile. Fragile. So there's stuff going on in the relationship that could lead to divorce or a breakup, mm-hmm. but not quite yet.
I think it can be brought back together.
Yeah.
As long as it's not broken, because once you lose the trust, that's when the relationship would be hard to repair, if it is even in a condition to be repaired.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like if it's fragile, it just takes work. Communication's key in relationships.
So how do you handle when your partner tells you all the crap they don't like about you?
Well, I appreciate it because I would rather somebody be upfront with what they don't like about me than hide behind some facade. So
Yeah, but even if it like hurts your ego really bad.
no, I'm pretty open to, because I'm blunt myself. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I would rather them be like, I don't like this about you because X, Y, and Z, and I would be like, okay, I appreciate that, like, because I'm gonna say the same thing about you. Like, if I don't like the way you're dressed or something, and it's your favorite shirt, I'm gonna be like,
Exactly. I'm doing that all the time. They say I'm an asshole for doing it, but
That's-
I'm
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
do.
like,
I
look,
appreciate the
that don't
honesty.
even look right.
I don't like to hear it, but I appreciate it because at least I know what you're thinking.
you always know what I'm thinking.
Yes, because God.
I tell a female, quit. Quit, man.
But it
Yeah,
seems
I'm like
like
that.
guys are not as open, maybe because I'm looking at it from a female perspective, to hearing, you know, to hearing feedback.
Some people have fragile egos.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it depends. I mean, it depends on where.
And
you,
I guess the way we
or
deliver it,
yeah,
too.
I was about to say how you deliver the message. If you know, it is very important.
That velvet knife. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
So
I'm
if-
guilty.
if you
am.
like, you know, you deliver the message in the argument, yeah, definitely he's gonna be like, oh, now he's gonna try to find something that he can attack your ego.
Yes.
So it's,
Ooh,
so
and
it's
it's
gonna
all-
be a tic tac. You know what I'm saying? Tic tac toe type thing.
Yeah.
I feel like though, like if you're not honest about what you do or do not like about them, like you're gonna have that problem the rest of your relationship. You know, if there's something that you don't like about them and that you want to bring up, that you want them to change, and
Get off your chest.
yeah, you gotta get up your
Yeah.
chest. Like otherwise, they're gonna have that
They're gonna have that.
stickler
In
there.
they're gonna
you
have
know?
that in the back pocket now.
it's
Yeah,
gonna
but
just
you
let
guys
go
say
on.
that, but what if you're really in love with this person and you risk that being honest? You will lose them.
Well,
But that's where love
yeah,
comes
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta take that risk.
I guess you never had them then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? You never had them.
yeah,
Because you want to love them unconditionally, you know,
Right.
regardless of their flaws. So
yeah.
That is true. That is true. But pointing out those flaws sometimes helps.
Yeah, I had one. Actually, now I think about it, my homeboy hit me up about his wife.
I'm not gonna use any names.
Yeah,
I'm
No,
not-
I'm not
no.
gonna use no names.
The stories and
The
are
story-
what
the
is
story-
it? Are
the-
fictional and any
Yeah, it's a fictional story.
and any potential, you know.
I'm not gonna say the names, but like, he was having problems with his female. I mean, they're separated now, but I guess you know, they have a daughter that's involved, and she left because I guess it was they were having financial hardship, and then she found a guy that was financially, I guess,
Stable.
and that can take her on lavish trips. And now that she brings it back and throws it in his face. And so how would you deal with something like that?
Man, and I remember one show we talked about how men will associate their part of their identity to the income that they bring in, or you know how they are stable financially, and so having a female throw in how you're not a provider, or you can't give me the things that make me happy, that's gotta hurt the ego pretty badly, right? But then I think, like, kick her to the curb. You don't deserve that.
gold digger.
You know, yeah, gold digger for sure.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that was tough. I was like, tough pill. I was like, yo, I know my man's like, he be working hard too. Like,
So then, all right, so why do we hold on to unhealthy relationships, or why do we hold on to relationships where we've been rejected already?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's something about the female. I mean, like, you're trying to fix it. I mean, but you don't want to leave. You just have your blinders up, I guess.
How long do you stay in that fight for?
I don't know. I did it for like a year and a half from one female before I.
What was it about her that kept you going back for more punches?
I don't know. I used to get my ego, hit hard too. Like,
Were you in love? Were you blindsided by her
I don't know.
mesmerizing beauty?
It was mesmerizing, but it's like I was like, I don't know. I spent a lot of money too.
Trying to impress her?
Yeah. So I know where he was coming from at that, but I was like,
I think for me, in the times where I've tried to hold on to a relationship that just wasn't going anywhere, I hold on to those moments that were really, really good. Like a good memory suddenly becomes incredibly amplified in my brain. And when I think of that moment, it releases like all these really good feel-good vibes, feel-good chemistry, you know, all that good brain drug. And so I want to recreate that in the relationship, even though that's not where the relationship is at, clearly. And then what makes it hard to letting it go is that I begin to think about losing what I had and the fear of not being able to have it again. And that creates like a really vicious cycle for me. Like, okay, if we had this before, why can't we have it now? Like, why can't we have that and have that, you know, that be a part of our relationship now? And the person's just not able to be in that space to give me that. And I think that's where heartbreak comes from.
Definitely.
Right? Like, not thinking about what you had and not having it, and then from the past, and then fearing that you can never have it again with someone else.
Right.
And then the wanting, right, for the future, the wanting to have it with that very person who is breaking your heart.
Yeah, that is tough.
I think the hard thing for me, like going through the breakup process, it would be more of like all the memories that we created with each other, and then I have to go ahead and do those exact same things without that person. So
Like visiting places that you've
yeah,
been
like
to. Oh.
going to my favorite food spot, and like
Yes,
that
that
became our
sucks.
favorite food
Oh,
spot.
God.
I don't know, like when I break up with
That
somebody, I don't
sucks.
even think about that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, cool.
But
No.
you're the one doing the breaking up. But what if they're breaking up with you and
I know,
you
I'm
don't
saying.
want it?
Yeah, I'm still like, all right, cool.
Like
We-
that one
we
girl you
done?
chased for a year.
She broke up with me. She broke up with me. I was like, all right, cool, man.
Oh,
found that.
I'm a
found
romantic.
that.
I don't want to go back to those places.
I still go back to the place.
Yeah.
You-
Still.
And recreate memories with some other chick, right?
And that's
Gotta
what-
start over, man.
It goes
Like,
that way with
okay.
music for me too.
Yeah, it's circle
Oh,
of life.
music.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's that's
I
a
always
good
get
outlook.
triggered.
Yeah.
Or smell, sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
And
you'll
then
walk by.
you write your best music when you after a breakup.
Yes, they're the
I done
best
brought,
poems.
Like,
Ooh.
well, this mixtape that I just dropped.
What?
It was right after the breakup too. It's like, it was the best mixtape ever.
It was lumping.
I
huh?
did, right? Yeah. That is so true. I don't write until like I go through something like that, and then suddenly I begin writing like crazy.
I wrote like 5 songs. Like,
Right?
I was sitting there, you know, I had the what you calling on. It's going.
It's like your outlet, you know. Like
Yeah,
mine's
what-
drawing,
yours
so
is
I-
art,
so
yeah.
I'll draw my best pieces. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that sucks. Heartbreak sucks. And then it's
It's the
such
best
an
money maker dough.
the heartbreak is so bad that then you create an aversion to love. And I am a
Fictional
believer,
characters.
right, that heartbreak and love are not linked. People look at me like, you're crazy. You know, don't fall in love because you'll have your heart broken. Yeah, no, that I think when you're in a space of really feeling love for someone, that's just such a great space, and that is it. That space is the space of love.
Yeah, temporary.
Well,
It's
and just be in it,
content.
right? Like, I'm all in. And then if you just so happen to break up, then that's just something else. It's not because I was in love that I'm having that heartbreak. It's because of other things.
I think it's all in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the process.
It's part
But
of the
I,
cycle.
but
Part of
I,
the
but I
cycle.
don't want to not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too idealistic and hopeful. But I don't want to believe that I should stop, desiring that feeling of being in love because I'm afraid of my heart being broken.
Yeah, it's all part of the process. You
I
gotta stay in the process.
Yeah, and I think that it's that heartbreak is probably a lack of love because you have that love in your life and that genuine happiness, and as soon as that is taken away, that heartbreak's coming because you're going back to that time where you had that lack of love, where you didn't have anything to put all that love for. So like an emptiness. So I feel like it's just the contrast of love. They don't necessarily have to be connected, but it's just the lack of.
Yeah, you still have that same energy. Just
I
you
don't
have
agree.
nowhere- Yeah.
No.
And the energy don't have nowhere to go.
Because if I say that there's a lack of love, then I'm saying that there's a lack of love in me,
Okay.
right? So, like, I understand your point, but what I'm saying is where the heartbreak comes from is the fact that I'm dwelling in the past.
Okay.
That I'm dwelling in the past of what I had and what I wanted and the experience I had with that person. And then I'm dwelling in the future, right? I'm thinking of what I'm going to miss, what I don't have, where I can't put this feeling anymore. Not to say that it doesn't hurt. It hurts like a,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
MNF, right?
Yep.
And in the moment, you guys will tell me, like, I know Trey's going to be like, Rosie, do you remember when you said in the radio station, love and heartbreak? As I'm like,
I'm gonna pull this video up.
snot-nosed and I hate men. And,
I'm gonna write a
love
song about
sucks,
this.
Right? But what helps me get out of that heartbreak is the fact that I can think, okay, I know this hurt is coming from the fact that I'm thinking about what I don't have anymore. And I know this hurt is coming from the fact that I have to go to this event we were planning on going on, or this trip, or
be in the same room with that person.
Or yes, oh my God, that
I did
sucks
that.
balls
I did that
big
too. I had
time.
to break up. I had to go to the end of the year party. That person sat right next.
Oh, and what if they're with someone else?
Oh,
I don't really care.
That's
Because I'm gonna find somebody else who.
Look at him.
Oh, you find somebody?
I just grabbed the next. Yeah.
Hey, what's your name? And pretend you're my girlfriend for the
Girl
night.
that was doing that. She's like, oh my love, this and this and this and this.
I can't do that.
And so like, and she
I
was
would have to
representing-
leave.
Yeah,
I would leave.
I don't think I would leave my privacy.
I don't think I'd be like,
bit,
I'd be
but-
cold-hearted, like try to be real cold-hearted.
Yeah, I'm pretty petty too.
Yeah, I gotta be petty with it.
Ooh,
Gotta see who can cause the most damage.
Yeah.
No, I will not let you see me bleeding. I will not let you see the scar you left in my heart. No.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
am
saying.
a
That's
strong,
why-
independent woman.
I'm the king of petty though. That's what I'm saying. So if you break up with me and you see me out
gotta come
again,
in.
yeah, it's gonna be king of petty though.
Really?
Yeah.
You can see how good I'm doing now.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't need you.
Yes,
Right.
That's what it-
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
you already cut me loose already. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Cut me
Don't
off the
come
string.
back
So
now.
good.
So why do exes want to come back?
I don't know, but they do.
They do.
I got a text message from that same girl.
What?
Recently.
How'd you
yeah.
handle that?
Huh?
How'd you?
I just let me tell you.
And suddenly the gush of memories comes out, and he's.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's crazy
the
though.
hardest beating.
You know, because it was like crazy. So she let me go back in November. She let me go. I was like, all right, cool. And now like it was February. She hit me up out of nowhere. Hey, I'm getting.
Wow, she broke up with you before the holidays?
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. She didn't even wait for that gift.
It's all right. I mean, it was what it is. And she came back right before Valentine's Day.
Oh, I see.
jeez.
I see. Chocolate covered roses. I mean,
You know what I'm saying? She's like-
strawberries.
She was like, oh yeah, I got a new boyfriend. All right, cool.
Wait,
man.
she hit you up to tell you she has a
No,
new
that's how she
boyfriend?
broke up with me. Like, oh, I got a
Okay.
new boyfriend. All right. I was like, cool, because we didn't talk for like 2
that's
weeks or whatever.
cold.
All right,
Wait,
cool,
she
whatever.
broke up with you, but you stayed in touch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No. She broke up with me. Like I haven't talked to her since
Okay.
then. But then she hit me up. Oh, I broke up with my boyfriend. This.
Oh,
this
so
and
she's
that.
trying to get
Nah,
back.
this and that. I was like, oh, okay.
No, you gonna stay single on this
Nah, so I
Valentine's Day.
say, look.
Wait,
It is what
what'd
it
you
is.
do, King? Did you go
I-
back to that?
No, I didn't.
No,
Text
no,
message.
Okay.
She's not even here.
no.
I don't believe in that holiday anyways.
No.
So I'm like,
No,
well, I was
it's
like, all
temporary.
right, cool, whatever. I mean,
I mean,
Oh,
thinking
you mean
of-
Valentine's
Yeah,
Day?
I
No,
don't
that
believe
sucks.
in
I
I
hate
was thinking of me.
Valentine's
That's genuine. That's sweet of you.
yeah,
She was thinking of you after she broke up with her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I don't-
Getting hit up after.
I don't know. I think the one reason a lot of people try to get back together is because they have the familiarity, you know, the
Yeah.
association. So they're used to this person and they know about them and they could potentially.
Yeah, I already
fix
know
it.
your perks,
Yeah.
like what you,
But then,
how you are.
If you go off, you find somebody else, you got to learn all about them, figure out what
That's
you
more
do and not
exciting
like.
for me.
So
That's a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
hate
like
starting.
that.
I do and I don't, because I'm like, I'm already so invested, like, in myself that I really don't like. I don't have to worry about like finding out that you have daddy issues or something this whole time.
Just like, yeah.
I like meeting people.
I'm like, all right. But do I give her a second chance? But no, probably
Yeah.
not. I really don't do second chances though like that.
No. I think my challenge is
Because
when...
I can't look at her the same way. Especially after you dated
Yeah,
another guy.
that's true.
I can't look at you. You
Yeah.
sucked his dick?
Yeah. Straight up like that. Actually, you know, you're right. Like, that is such a turn on. Like,
I
the
can't-
idea that you're with somebody
you think
else.
about
Yeah,
that.
now
They've
I'm
seen
like...
everything on you.
Yeah, so I can't
look at you
the same way now.
Especially
Yeah.
if you broke up with me to be with some other
Right,
person.
exactly.
Because you know.
Because I'm like, oh, okay, I know what you did with me.
Yeah.
You do,
And so-
yeah, you probably did the same thing with them.
Yeah,
they got all the
exactly.
same.
So I'm
yeah.
thinking like,
How much more-
so when I'm looking at you, and I'm like, nah, I don't know. 'Cause that's why I don't do second chances for female.
That makes sense.
We can be friends
Yeah.
with benefits.
Oh.
Not platonic.
Okay, yeah.
But
Not platonic, guys. He used the word, not platonic.
You know, I don't do platonic.
He does-
I don't do platonic. So, yeah, that's where I draw the line at. You know what I'm saying?
So you could like mess with her again, but not to the level that you were invested before.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
a
got it.
committed relationship.
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
relationship like that.
Got it.
But don't you
Because
think?
I can't look at her the same way.
Yeah, I have a
just
hard
such
time
me.
with that too.
It's like,
But then there
No.
could be that risk of that emotional attachment again, though, if you mess with them. I don't know. I just feel like
yeah,
For some
I cut
people.
cut that out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're right. There is that emotional risk
because you
of
remember,
yeah,
you know, how the
and
memories go
especially
back.
if that feeling of love was like so tight, like real feeling.
I dropped that the next day.
Yeah, you just cut it right
Can
off.
you can't? No way. You're not a light switch. Even for you, you're not a light switch.
No, I am definitely that cold. I'm like an icebox.
Where do you put that feeling? Like, tell me, what is your secret?
But it happened to me like it goes back to like when I was married the first time, and the events that led to that divorce. That's where I got that icebox mentality.
Oh, so your heartbreak was so severe that
walls.
you put it in a place and said,
Yeah,
I'm never gonna go down that route.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
put females.
understandable.
Yeah, I don't put females in that like.
After that, which sucks, because one heartbreak can ruin a person.
Yeah, and it ruins to the next female.
Yeah,
It
ruins
sure
for their
does.
next-
And you know what? I
their
thought
potential.
that. So I got divorced several years ago, and I thought, okay, now I'm older. I'm really clear on what I like and what I want, and hopefully my men my age will have evolved to be clear of what they want. No, it's worse to date now, I think, than when I was younger.
The previous relationships do determine like a lot.
Holy cow, you're
Like,
dealing
'cause
with so much baggage
my
from
ex-wife, like,
yourself and other people's.
Yeah, it was crazy. Pretty much. So what my ex-wife did was, I'll give you a synopsis of the story. It's pretty
Ooh,
wild.
oh.
Call her out.
I want to see the movie.
Yes,
So-
yes, you imagine?
I was a Marine also. Like I worked long hours in the IPAC or whatever. And so I used to be going until like 7, 8 o'clock, and I come home or whatever. And I used to have to work on weekends because we had the in-process Marines on the weekends. And so one of my neighbors, who homeboys, whenever I had time off or whatever, I go over. We play dominoes or spades and drink a little bit. I say, yo, old dude's been coming over your house or whatever when you're gone at work.
Your friend told you this?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said, He said, it's probably one of your Marines, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he worked in the IPAC.
Oh.
Because back then, the IPAC was separate. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been here for a while, so the IPAC was separate. We had the inbound, where it was down the hill, and then you had the upper IPAC, which now they're all together. But we were down the hill, whatever. So we never really talked to
The other guys?
the main IPAC, whatever. And I didn't know she knew any guys from the main IPAC or whatever. But anyways, that's a long story. So one day I was like, well, I'm pretending like I'm going to work on a Saturday. And I just went across the street or whatever, went around the street. And, I was just chilling. He's like, yo, the dude probably going to show up in like 45 minutes.
Damn, he had his schedule and everything.
My homeboy was like, yeah, he was protecting the interest. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I was like, cool. So I waited for like 45 minutes. Sure enough, the car pulled up. Everything, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I had a young my oldest son was asleep. He was a baby at the time. He was like 3, so he was sleeping in the other room, and they was fucking upstairs when I came. Cause I came.
This is right out of a movie.
Yeah, I almost killed him that day.
Yeah.
Of course.
In my house. You know what I'm saying? This is the base.
In your bed.
Jeez. That's messed up.
So ever since then, I have that icebox mentality, especially for females.
So how have other females paid for that price or paid for that event?
Well, this ex, she gonna pay.
No.
for
How have the females following your ex-wife
all
paid?
paid.
Yeah. How? Like, what do you?
I don't go all the way in like that.
Really? That's so sad.
That's why I don't get emotionally connected with females like that.
Oh man, that just breaks my heart.
Yeah, so.
I've had my heart broken a million
That's
and one
probably why I
times,
don't-
but I still go in all the
Really?
way. Like I just, I'm gonna die, so I might as well just love
Invest it all.
hard,
No, I'm not gonna go all over.
talk hard.
I'm
Like,
not gonna go 100 in like that.
yeah. What do I have to lose?
I'll probably go in like maybe 35.
Yeah.
35. 30. That's not even 50. 35 is nothing.
We're what? Yeah, you're safe right there.
Oh my
Safe
God,
zone.
no.
Yeah, even in credit score, you gotta be at 30%.
Tell me you're like 100% love all the time.
Yeah, and it fucks me.
Okay,
I
good.
hate it. I hate
You know
it, though.
what? If I
I'm
hurt
35,
out of love,
and I
then
get up to 50.
Slowly.
Slowly.
But that's
that
it.
breaks
You gotta work
my
for it. You gotta work for it.
You know what? The greater the risk, yeah. I mean, the greater the reward, the greater the risk, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? I've been heartbroken quite a few times, and I've learned that I can recover. It sucks. Bad,
Oh yeah, everybody
bad,
can recover.
Bad.
It's just that I don't put that barrier up there. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I
Safe
don't want
proof.
to ever feel like I cheated myself into not loving hard and real, right? Like if shoot, if I tell you I love you, even if you're my friend, you best believe that I'm feeling that in the moment, right? Sometimes I'll tell Trey, I'm feeling love for you right now. Just right now in this moment, I'm letting you know I'm feeling love for you right now. And that's okay, because maybe later I won't be feeling that same love. But, right now in this moment, I'm feeling love for you. And I share that because I don't want to die with this, holding back of every possible experience. Right, yeah. For what? For fear of a pain that might come or not?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm hopeless romantic.
That's me.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah, I just don't want to go red ever again. Just see.
So because you love that hard, you got angry that hard.
Almost, ended up in the
I'm pretty
grave
sure.
like that.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you killed him in the heat of passion, you're
Not
good.
here. Not
No,
here. Texas,
no.
you can get away with it. I read up on it. Texas and North Carolina, you get away with that. Not here.
No.
You sit in the brig for a minute.
No. I mean,
Well, you
you
know what
could
I'm saying?
say
I did
something like
whoop
I was
his ass,
defending
though,
my
you know what I'm
life or
I didn't
her life.
know.
She was screaming in pain, and no, sorry.
Yeah, the police came out. First sergeant was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? He said he would have did the same thing.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't.
You up.
Yeah. So when I had to go explain to the sergeant major, telling sergeant major about it, he was like, "All right, cool, just stay in the barracks until we
Finish this thing.
Yeah, until we move her out, or whatever." So, and then old dude stayed here. I almost killed him every time I saw him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
I
meant-
hear stories.
Yeah.
I hear stories.
Matter of fact, they moved me from IPAC to legal because of that. Because they didn't want us
in the same
unit. Because I was,
If I see you every day, you would get this ass whooping
Oh,
every day.
God.
Yeah, on God. You was okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So, I have a question. Actually, I don't know if this is going off topic, but what do you guys think about military relationships? With the constant moving on, and if you break up, you might see them there.
Yeah.
Because you gotta.
And
I don't know.
especially in the Marine
see,
Corps,
I
right?
never
Because you
did-
guys
I never
are a
did
really
the-
small corps. Like
Yeah. So it's a small community.
Yeah.
If you
Small
date within
community.
it, you're risking a lot.
See, I never dated inside the whole.
No?
I never did that. The whole barracks thing, or
You were smart. You
yeah, I
dated
never
outside
did
the gate.
Yeah, I don't know. I never did it. I don't know. I just never did it. I was, yeah.
I
was
did
crazy though,
twice, and it is interesting. But you know what? I don't hold grudges. This is my philosophy. If you choose to be with someone else, even in the times that I was cheated on, my past the hurt, my thought was, I don't want you in my life if you don't want to be in my life. And if you're choosing to be with someone else and that person you feel much more happiness with, be happy.
Yeah.
Be you, be happy. I mean, I can't look at you the same because I'm pretty open to you telling me, how we're doing in the relationship. You could have easily have told me, hey, I'm not happy, or hey, I met this person and she makes me happy, and
Yeah, I seen it.
and I
really
see it
deadly.
really.
Like somebody got shot in the barracks. Like
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm all
Like-
about, you know what, you go do your boo-boo and be
crazy.
happy.
Yeah.
It was actually.
I don't want to keep anybody in my life if
in
they don't
Quantico-
want to be in it.
When I was stationed in Quantico, it actually happened in the barracks where the female, she was a supply female, and we had infantry guys, because like all the infantry guys that come there, they're on their like second. They already had like a second or third deployment, so this is like a relaxed one where they come and do it. They been instructors for the officers, because I was stationed at Officer Candidate School, so they they're instructors or whatever. Well, this female, she was messing with both of the guys. In that particular, both of the instructors, and they happened to be, one was in this room, she was in like the middle room, and the other dude was like in the other corner room over here.
That's like really
Of
close.
course.
And so all the weapons are supposed to be checked into the army, even your personal
Yes,
weapons.
yes.
Well, old dude had his weapon in
no.
the whatchamacallit.
In the barracks?
In the barracks. And so what happened was, he happened to be walking, if you've been in the Marine Corps barracks, you can hear everything if you walk through the hallways.
Yeah.
And so this is this is back to the old Marine Corps mentality where all the females are on the first floor. Well, in this barracks, we didn't have that many females, and we didn't really have that many guys, and we had 2 floors, so not many people stay on in the barracks in the States like they do here.
Right.
So she happened to be in his room. And like he wanted to go ask a question, and like I don't know why he didn't lock the door, because the door was open and he just walked in. And it's not like in the States where the duty actually goes and actually do their job.
Yeah, that's true.
I never did.
That's true. I hear it.
I watched my laptop the whole time. Nothing happens. It's not even like regular duty because you come at 16:30.
Yeah,
you come after work to go on duty.
Yeah.
You come to 8 o'clock or whatever. So, but anyways, and so he walked in the room, whatever. He was going to ask the question, and they were fucking whatever. And he left out when he got his pistol. And he shot both of them, and then he shot himself.
What?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh my.
That is.
You hyped this story up so much for him to kill himself.
Shit.
Yeah, that was wow.
Where was this?
I was not expecting that.
Oh my god.
And so at the battalion
There's some other stuff going on there. That's more than
just.
One
of getting relieved because the pistol was supposed to be in the armory. I was like, I don't even know how it's his fault, but
wow.
I was like,
It sounds like he already had problems.
That's a crime of passion and +1. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was like I was like, wow, it's off the chain type of stuff. Like,
but it is a really small community, and
that's why I really
if
never
you
dated. I was like,
date someone, you end up dating everyone.
Well, yeah, I know, because literally when I was in Quantico, I was just, going back to Quantico. When I was just there for a week, I met somebody, or I saw somebody that I hadn't seen for like 5 years, and I was like, oh, this is awkward.
Yeah. Well, I've been here a really long time, and I've had friends that come back and do second and third rotations out here, which is insane to me. And I'm like, man, and you know this person, and you know that person, and so nothing is ever really
Everybody
a secret.
Knows each other too. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
I came through the gate and I was like, oh, one of the guys I went to boot camp with. He was a buddy
really?
now. I was like, oh yeah, what's up, man? I was like. He's like, oh, you done changed? I was like, yeah. I was like, it's been 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years.
Since I saw you.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to change. He's like, oh, your hair done changed too. I was
So,
like, yeah.
what do you guys think about marriage, the institution of marriage, like going through the marriage process? Because a lot of times I'll talk to, I have a lot of male friends because obviously I work around men. I hang out around men, and it just, men is the greater gender here.
Yep, it's 2 to 1. The world population.
Is it really 2 to 1? Because it feels like it's more than that.
It's definitely 2 to 1.
So we'll have just general life conversations, and oftentimes they'll say that what has honestly kept them in the relationship is the obligation of not having to go through the divorce process.
Yes,
like the divorce itself is what's keeping them in a relationship they really don't want to be with.
It is. It's really expensive.
That's toxic, though. That's very
it
toxic.
is.
If you guys do not love each other anymore, you have to live with them.
Yeah, it is. And so there's children, right? There's reasons for children, but then there's finances and retirement and
it gets worse when there's kids involved.
Yeah, and the house.
Wedlock.
Yeah.
But
it gets really
expensive. Oh yeah, because then you owe alimony and all this other BS.
Yeah.
I cut it off after 5 years.
Yeah,
right before they get the 15% or 20%.
Yeah, because 2.5 every year that you marry.
Right.
Up into 10.
Really?
Up into 10. Oh, I know all this.
Oh my God.
Once you get to 10, they get part of your retirement and everything.
50% of the retirement.
At 10 years?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, damn.
So they wrote this law.
What do you guys think about?
So outdated too.
It's it really is.
They wrote this in law in 1980. And
well, that's really outdated.
How
about that?
But they're probably not gonna change it ever. But I mean, it was a thing that helped the military spouse. It was supposed to be and I think to get the job,
I think
and to protect them from
yes, because military spouses have to travel with their husbands and oftentimes have a hard time building their own career and all that good stuff. So I'm not disagreeing with all of that,
I think
but
the laws need to be changed.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Modify it. Let's modify.
But what do you guys think of marriage, the administrative process of marriage? If you guys are out there listening, what do you guys think about, should marriage be sealed? And I understand the whole legality piece of it, but oftentimes to get a divorce, I mean, it takes, what is it in California? I think you have to wait a year
I had to wait
in the divorce process before you get divorced.
4 to 6 months, you got to be separate, at least separated 6 months, no contact.
And a year before you actually divorce, right?
And it all starts all over if you had sexual contact.
And so if you're in a relationship with someone who you don't want to be in that relationship anymore, and all these things are being held up by some sort of institutional administrative process, what do you guys think about that?
I don't.
I mean, I'm still gonna go through the process.
Well, we have to if
Yeah.
if
It's
you want
expensive.
if you want
It
to
is.
if you
It's
want
so
to include
expensive.
your
Because you're not
spouse and all
happy.
these other legalities. Oh, you mean the divorce?
I'm talking
piece.
about the divorce. Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes,
said, I don't know.
absolutely.
I
But
think it's
man,
an
that-
investment, though. It's definitely an investment.
Well, yes,
because
the relationship is an investment. to
Because
begin
like the
with.
lawyer
Yeah, you're
fees, just
right.
the lawyer fees in general is expensive. Not only do you have to pay for the court filing, because you got to pay for that, you got to pay for the lawyer and the court filings, and all the classes you have to go through.
Yes.
In Florida, you have to go through classes
Yes.
if you're married,
And if you have children,
yeah,
you
you
have
have
to go to
children
class.
involved. You have to go. You have to pay for these classes to go to.
Oh my
Yes.
It's mandated classes you have to go through.
Yeah.
I thought it was ridiculous. I was
Just
like,
go get old boy's pistol.
if it was Texas,
Do not follow that advice. Do
if I was
not.
Texas, you can sue them afterwards.
After you get divorced, you
Yeah.
can sue
Yeah,
your
if it's-
ex-husband.
For the charges.
Yeah,
Dang.
if it's infidelity involved.
Okay.
You can sue. You can sue both parties.
I'm moving to Texas.
Oh, I'm.
What?
Yeah, so
Well, I don't. You know, I was thinking about this
you can
driving
kill
the
them
other day.
and then sue their family.
Oh my lord!
That's what I would have did.
I want that
Do
money.
not follow that advice. I was thinking about this driving home the other day. Like, if I were in another committed relationship, do I want to go through the administrative process of marriage? I definitely want to have a ceremony to,
Just go common law
celebrate with
marriage.
family and friends, but do I want to go through the whole paperwork process of
Yeah.
it?
Common law.
That's-
Common law.
I-
I don't know. Yeah, right.
You do the common law one.
I just
Yeah,
think, like, I
don't
noticed.
know.
A lot
I
of
want
peop-
if you tell me, 5 years into our, soulful connection marriage, whatever we're gonna call it, and you tell me, Rosie, I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't want a piece of paper to delay that process.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the divorce process is not meant to make you guys friendly. Because even if you're divorcing mutually, irreconcilable differences, all that good stuff, the divorce process in itself brings out the monster in people.
Oh yeah, it does. No, so my ex-wife, it took us like 7 years to be cordial again, just to be cordial.
7 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
just be cordial.
Just from the divorce, the paperwork
Because it
itself,
cost me
the language in the paperwork.
In the long run, in the 3 years that we were going through the whole divorce, I spent somewhere like close to $20,000.
Oh my God. That could have gone
Because-
to your son's college fund.
Yeah, and it was because it was. Oh, she was being petty, and then I was being petty.
Right? It does. It brings out the worst
And so-
in you.
And it was to the point where the military have their certain rules that you have to follow by. And it's we have Marine Corps orders that we it dictates how much money that you have to pay the spouse during the separation.
I got away from that. Thank
Yeah,
God.
But-
you were able. Yeah.
States also have their own rules, and so she wanted more money than what the military wanted. So she went to the state, and they wound up garnishing my pay
Wages to wow.
to cover that. And there's lawyers involved, and it's two separate states involved. Because she went back to her home state, and I was in my home state, and I wound up filing first. They had to find out which one had jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So we was playing that game while they was garnishing my pay. They garnished an additional $11,000
Jesus.
to cover,
I think I'm the best ex-wife ever.
and $1,200
I
on top
will
of that.
put up no fight. I don't want anything. You're good.
No, I want all my shit.
No,
I
I
want
didn't
my
put a
stuff.
fight.
Yeah, when it
I
went that-
still don't put a fight.
When it went up to that, then that's when I started. Oh yeah, let's modify this because I want this and this and this and this now. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna play
Prenup.
this. Yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
start playing these games now.
Yes,
No
I-
matter
yes.
what, whenever I get married, prenup.
Yeah.
And I
Let's
knew
just
about
make
all
it
this-
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
let's
know
just.
I know all the
So-
secret accounts, everything. I was like, wait a minute, where's this money going from? Because I used to check everything. I was like, oh, it's going to this account. I never told her that. Oh, I knew that she was, taking money and putting it into a rainy day fund, whatever.
So do you believe? Okay, so that
So I
leads
was
me
like,
to the next question.
I was like, look, let me get my money out of this rainy day fund, my half that you put in here. I wanted that. Because she was surprised when we were sitting across the table and the lawyer's like, oh, where did this account come from? Oh, you didn't ever disclose this to your attorney either, huh?
So here's my question: do you think couples should have shared accounts, shared bank? Let's start with shared bank accounts.
No.
Are we talking couples like married?
Married
Okay.
couples.
No.
Yeah. No, if you're not married, then you're still. I
Stay with
like. Yeah. No.
Well,
it doesn't
actually,
make
yeah and
But
no. I mean, if you have
married
kids,
couples.
yeah, I think,
Maybe
yeah,
further
share.
down the line.
Kids,
but
yes.
Yeah, kids definitely
One
use
shared account
if
for
you-
the kids.
Yeah, just for the kids. But besides that, no.
No. No. What do you?
I make my
Yeah.
own money. You make your own money. Good.
Yeah.
You learn how to
That's
spend
true.
your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
But further down the line, once you have your kids and you're settled down and you've hit
Yeah,
double digits in that
It
marriage.
depends on how successful I am, to be honest. Because if I got money, and we have money, and our relationship is just fine. Okay, whatever. Obviously we're both working.
Right.
So buy what you want.
So I
Because I'm gonna
think-
buy what I want. and I have
think
the
there's
I don't
sense
want
of
you
for
telling
saying,
me.
me,
Yeah, I want
yeah.
you to be like, hey, we're looking at, hey, where's this charge from? I don't know.
Right.
first of all, I got
I'm a
expensive.
grown-ass
I got
man,
expensive
you know what I'm
taste. Yeah,
First of all, that's what I'll be like. Yeah, I'm a grown ass man. I work for everything.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
So don't be up here trying to question what
So
this
if-
charge is about.
Well, if the charge is affecting the bank account and now we're at zero, then
because
right.
I work for this money. It's not
Yeah,
affecting
I
me.
agree.
So
So
if
don't
I
get
work for it, it's
mad
not-
at me
it's
when
not
I
your
get those
business.
red bottoms,
No, see,
right?
my thing is that if you're looking at the bank account, there's an issue at that point.
Well,
like-
no, I mean somebody
Yeah,
has to be
that's
a
fiscally
control issue.
responsible.
Yeah.
That's being a
No,
control issue.
somebody has
if you're
to
monitoring and
manage.
constantly questioning,
No,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
So
There's
if
no
you
extent.
if y'all both set a goal, you say, hey,
Right.
yo, bam, this is what we're gonna spend. I mean,
Right.
then if as
So-
long as you
so
stay,
you budget.
as long as you
Yeah.
stay in that,
Right.
that
Yeah,
guideline,
so you budget.
it shouldn't matter what I spend my
Right.
money, what my portion I spend my money on. It shouldn't matter. If you
I
just,
find
Money
that really
conversations are so
interesting.
difficult to
Oh,
have.
It
I
is, and it is
hate
it is. I think the number 2 thing that leads to a lot of breakups.
It could, yeah.
But you know, it's funny because I hear like my money, but we're married.
yeah,
But-
then I hear, oh, my money is your money. No, that doesn't.
Well,
work.
my money is
I
my
don't
money,
like-
and your money is my money.
There it is.
Yeah,
I'm
I used
just
to
kidding.
hear
I'm
that.
just
Heard it
kidding. I'm
first.
just
I used to hear
kidding.
that growing up. My parents used to say that, and I was like, I never believed in that philosophy. Especially, I don't know, no, definitely.
I think for me, I don't mind so much the sharing accounts bit for for the family's budget and to make sure that we're reaching our financial goals and all that stuff. But I definitely want to have my own independence and my financial freedom, right? So,
Right.
however, having said that, though, if if we get divorced and you have accrued debt, now I have to split that debt and pay off half of your debt. Did you know that?
Yes, I
And
know.
at least in
I
in
know.
Florida.
I definitely.
And so,
I was there with that
so
attorney all the
financially, I think next time around, I think I would want to go to some financial guru and say, how do we maximize our dollar as a couple and minimize like the stress that finances brings up in a relationship? Because I want to be able to buy what I want. I want you to be able to buy what you want, but I also want to be able to make sure that we're financially comfortable and that we're financially safe in the event that one of us loses a job or that life stuff happens. Yeah,
Lucky
because
enough, I
you
didn't
know
have that much debt, or both of us didn't have that much debt. I didn't incur any debt. I was
you were
I was one of the people
fiscally
that
responsible.
yeah.
Good.
I learned really early. I had a really good
Very
sergeant. I
important.
had a female sergeant that when I first came in, that's the first thing she sat down and pinpoint. This is what you need to do. Don't be like the other Marines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super
Yep.
smart.
Like that's
yeah.
especially for in that important a relationship where we're that serious.
Yes.
And I'm like going long term. I'd be like, okay, so like, what is your financial situation?
Well, I
How
think-
much debt do you have?
I want to know that in my first.
I pull
couple of
credit
dates.
reports now.
And your first
Like,
couple-
yes,
Yes.
let me tell you.
Yeah,
let me
pull-
tell you.
Like how much money they got,
No,
or
no,
like
no,
how
no.
much debt?
I'm pulling you. I'm pulling everything. I want to see everything. You know?
What's your credit
You said
score?
what? Yep.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
said what's your FICO?
Yeah, we
No,
trying to see that.
that's part of the
It's a
whole.
trust
like,
thing. I mean, it's like it's a big step. You know?
Absolutely,
Like, that's
especially
like,
today.
Especially before even you start talking about marriage. Let me see what this.
No, if we get to like
And
the
you- if
third
you-
date or the fifth date, I'm
date?
getting a feeling for you and how you are financially
fifth date.
or whatever.
You
What?
pulling this? Oh, I was
Water
like,
waters.
it's at least 3 months in.
No.
That's what. That's
No,
why
no,
I
no,
said.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
saying fifth date. Yeah, fifth
No.
date. I was
Fifth
like,
date.
that
Well,
could
that
be a
could be
week.
3 months.
That could be
Yeah,
a week.
I-
That could be a week.
So wait, you
That
guys
could be
are
a week into
horrible.
it.
I always get attacked. Damn it.
I was like, wait a minute. We were thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I said fifth date. I was like, wait a minute. That could be a week. That was
you
like
know
a
what?
week
That
into
is
it.
part of my top whatever questions. Is
How
like,
much debt are you in?
No.
Oh, no, it was a
Hi.
legitimate question.
Oh, look, we're going international, guys.
Yeah, I was like, that's quick.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No. I think it's part of. So I'm one to like have a lot of conversation in a date. Like I really want to get to know you and ask a lot of questions about you. But I get a feel also for if you're. And for men, I find that it's really easy for them to share what they do financially with their jobs and how they manage financially. I don't know why.
I don't tell anybody.
But,
Yeah, I don't tell.
I'm
But
just so to
I can
myself.
tell you guys, it's in
You
the few
probably
times.
you wouldn't have figured it out in like at least like 6 months later for me.
But what I'm looking for is, are we compatible? That's the bottom line. It could take 5 days, it could take 5 months, but are we compatible, right? Do you have similar values when it comes to finances that I do? Because let me tell you, incompatibility in that area going in, and wanting to, letting the whole love cloud take over your judgment, that becomes an issue in the marriage. That becomes an issue in the relationship long term.
I'm checking to see how many late payments you got. If you in collections, why you in collections.
And I'm not saying be like perfect, but at least own responsibility in the way you spend and the way you think about money. And I'm far from perfect, but
me either. But
if you're going to be leaning on me to handle things, that's not. Don't call me.
Later down the line, it's going to become a burden.
35.
That's your credit score? Damn! King's at 735. What? He was asked. What's your FICO score? 735. That's really good. Okay, so King, no, I'm just kidding.
Financially stable right here.
Right? But, that's a question.
I really do ask that question, though, once I get to that
God,
point.
I'd be embarrassed to say right now.
Yeah, but I actually do pull the female's credit score. I ask them.
Damn!
I will ask the female score.
Stalker.
Well, we already know he's ice cold, so it don't matter.
That's true.
This whole interview process.
I don't think.
Okay, so
I love when guys say they're ice cold because I think they're the biggest mush balls.
Let's talk about this. Say they do have debt. How much are you willing to put up with?
Again, it's not what they have, it's what's their value system around it. Like getting into debt could be you were sick in the hospital and now you owe the hospital $150,000.
You don't count on your credit score though anymore. 2 years ago.
If you don't pay for that debt, it counts on your credit score. I know. Oh, yes, I know.
2 years ago they changed the rules.
No, they didn't.
So you're saying
I'm telling you. I know from experience.
Like how they handle it or how they're going to
how they're handling. Yeah, how are they what is their game plan?
Like if I have debt but I'm paying it off
Okay. Yeah, like let's say you went through a divorce and you're still handling that, that's out of control debt. Now, if you tell me, I bought a yacht and I bought a this and I bought a that and I just came back from Paris.
I'm trying to find out where he at.
And my credit cards are, 7 credit cards in. Damn, I just tapped that out. I'm like, I'll pay for dinner. But, I'm just looking for what are your values with regard to finances.
I see a girl with a maxed out credit card. I'm like,
yeah, no.
Honestly, that's a little crazy. Like that right there.
That's scary.
Today and day, that is scary.
That's scary to me. I'm like, oh shit, that means she gonna max my shit out.
Yeah, no kidding. And I've heard really big stories.
If this thing gets declined,
that's
just so serious.
So talking about shared, right? So we talk about financial sharing accounts. Sharing financial accounts. What do you guys? Did we ask this already? What do you guys think about sharing social media accounts?
I think it's really
like when you see like such and such and such and such.
Together?
Yeah.
Brittany and John Mayweather or something.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I hate that.
A publicity thing. Like you're just trying to become famous by banking it off your relationship. It's fine. I don't think it hurts
Facebook
anything.
and all that you see.
Don't you?
I remember once someone told me, whenever you see couples sharing a Facebook account, it's because somebody, had an issue of trust.
Border wall. That's just you cracked me up. That's like. The fuck?
We were chatting about this.
Everybody building border walls now.
And I said, shared accounts is the new cheating wall. That's border wall.
I thought it was just the stupidest thing I ever seen. Like,
I get when couples do it because they want to have a family page. Where they talk about their children and all that stuff.
Family. It's always about we are doing so good, this and this and this, and then 7 months later you see the count this. But
isn't that what social media is to show to highlight the rainbow?
I see you at this location. Y'all what happened?
Right? Facebook is the best photo album in that it captures all the best moments. I hardly ever see pictures of or comments of the hard times.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
But I always find it interesting when I see couples sharing, and not nothing against it. Hey, whatever. But I was just curious what you guys thought about should couples share social media, whether it's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram.
Yeah,
emails,
I'm just gonna put it out there.
Even, right?
All the females, you would never have a shared account with me ever.
Oh.
Period.
735 though.
How come?
735.
Huh?
He's thirsty tonight. He's thirsty.
I'm just throwing it out there. You won't.
How come, King? How come?
Because it's just not gonna happen.
Why? What do you got to hide? Because
that's
the counter argument is, what do you have to hide?
I don't have nothing to hide. It's just me.
I'll tell you what. If anybody wants to be stealth, they're gonna do it with their partner on the account or not. like if anybody wants
I
to.
mean, you can do it with your partner on there. You can do secret conversation. Facebook.
What?
Yeah.
Facebook has secret
yeah,
conversation.
No
so you can go
really?
right here,
Bro,
right?
you need to
go
get
here,
together.
bam.
What?
You
Yes,
gotta
I know.
together.
I'm so
But what does it matter? Who you hiding your stuff from?
Nobody.
That's
Clearly,
the-
I'm single.
See what it is? Go to secret conversation. You can have secret,
All of them.
and
Yeah.
it's blocked. And then the
It's only burnt from your phone. Like
Yeah.
if you were to go on to my account from your phone, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Well, so what about the whole cloud sharing thing? Like I just
God.
learned
Here we
about
go.
that.
What you
I
mean
know
cloud
sharing?
where like if you and I are on the same account, I could see your texts through the cloud share.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's hooked up to my computer. Like
Yeah.
if my computer sees
Yeah.
all my text messages. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to
have it on my
hide.
iPad,
Yeah,
but I don't
you
use it like
you
that.
shouldn't have to be worried about that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're
Oh,
worried
I'm
about
not.
that,
You know what you
That's
can do?
something
It's an
to do.
app where you can take the person's telephone number and text somebody else with the telephone number.
What?
And find
I
out.
feel like if you're
Technology is
going through
ridiculous.
that, that's,
I
that's
am
not
so
good.
behind
I
in
seen it on what you call.
technology.
Matter of fact, I was watching one of the reality shows, and the female was doing it to like her for her man.
See, like
So-
no.
There's a
So
problem.
she's-
No.
There's
And so
such a
I was
red
like, oh,
flag.
Yeah,
this is
no.
pretty cool. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
I would like if you were doing that, I would. That's the end of that.
Once you're deleting text messages, it's already cheating.
Well, I
like
mean,
you're
I-
hiding
Okay,
it.
so that was
This is
the
not
question we
cheating.
started with.
Yes!
Like, is it
Online
online
not
cheating?
Yes, it
on-
is.
no,
I
it's
think
not-
it is.
It's
What?
not cheating at all.
What's not cheating?
Once you gotta start deleting stuff that you don't want somebody else to see, that's
If I want to
100%.
delete something, I want to delete it. I
But
mean,
why-
like,
why do you-
But what is the content? What kind
Are
of
you
content
saving
are you
space on your
deleting?
phone?
Yeah.
No, don't you give him that out.
Or are you, what's your reason?
I mean, I want to delete it.
That's the only feasible reason I could think of. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
right.
no other reason.
I even save all my conversations on Snapchat just because it is what it is.
Really? I gotta be
Receipts.
careful.
I save
No,
all of
just
ours.
kidding.
Those receipts, you know?
We talk on every social media.
Yeah, we do. I can't keep up with us.
Neither can I.
So I think it is possible to cheat online, and I know we started the show off with that question, and especially if you're like deleting conversation.
So what if the
And-
person's using the telephone
And, okay,
number
so all right, so
to
okay,
text
I
the other
have a
person?
question
That's
with
not
regard to
cheating.
cheating.
That's just the same thing, right? It's the same. That's the same concept. It's just now
So-
the other person's getting emotionally attached because they thought it was somebody else, right?
But if I'm going out of my way to delete the messages because I
You're
don't
not
want
gonna
you
have
to
to
see
delete
them.
them though. You don't have to delete.
Or
them.
you don't want to have to explain yourself.
Yeah,
like
like-
maybe
but,
it's
like-
not
I don't explain
cheating.
myself.
What are your
anyway.
intentions
But
behind it, I
if you
guess?
read my text
Yes,
messages,
that's
what you read.
It's
That's what you gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and go, oh, this was this because of this and this and this.
My question is,
can
why
take
are
what
you snooping through my thing, like my things?
you
It's like
see me-
snooping through
Yeah,
my
I guess it's a
undie drawer.
situation.
I don't
So,
put any
yeah.
phone. I don't have no like password on my phone.
And y'all know mine.
So-
it's so easy. Like,
I don't. So you can open my phone. You can open my phone anytime and look at it.
You could do like my daughters do and just put the phone in front of my face.
Yeah.
Like you can look at all my text
God.
messages.
Hate it.
And all the females, I've never had a female look through my phone at all,
Yeah.
or say, oh, who are you texting? Da da da. Because they can look at it. Whenever I go take a shower, they can
Yeah.
go look at my phone.
Yeah.
I'm the same
I don't
way.
take my. I don't take my.
But now
phone.
we know you know how to have secret
Yeah,
conversations.
found a way around it. Found a way around it.
Well, I don't do it all the time. I've done it.
Ladies,
I've done it.
735, ladies, just
Don't
keep
forget,
it
yeah,
in mind.
magic number.
I've done it before, but I'm just saying. And the only way I know how to do it is because the girl actually did it first. And I was like, what the hell is this? So I answered back. I was like, oh, you can do secret conversations. And that's because she was
Why
hiding
is
from,
she?
she was
Yes.
hiding from her husband.
she was doing the
So
dirt.
who should? Okay, so let's ask this. Let's say that this is a female question. Let's say that there's a couple, and the husband is being unfaithful. Should the wife be mad at the woman she's being unfaithful with, or the husband?
The husband.
That was another question that came up last week.
Because the husband's who you invested all your trust into,
Yeah.
and so they broke it.
Does she know?
I never got.
Does the other woman
upset.
know?
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if the other woman know now.
Yeah.
It should be the
Or
the
no,
part- it
yes
should
or
be-
no?
It should be the partner because he's the one.
Because
It's
you're gonna-
the
at the
partner's
end-
in the wrong because the partner's going to do what they want regardless.
him and she going to. I mean,
You're
make
gonna
the
have to-
decision to
Yeah.
actually go and do it. Now, if the other person know, I'll be okay.
I never.
So it may be
got-
like a 20%,
In my
yeah.
experience of having gone through my partners being unfaithful, I never got upset with the woman.
Because at the end of the day, you have to deal with your partner, not her.
Yeah,
like
that's
she's
right.
she's sure
That's
she's
right.
a deterrent, but you have
they
to
gonna
deal with
catch an
your
ass
partner.
whooping.
Yeah.
Why the female going to catch the ass woman?
No.
I'm crazy though.
Oh, you would get.
Everybody's getting ass whooped.
Her mother.
I might hire somebody.
Ass whooping. He's
Whole
over right
family,
now.
yeah.
Ass whoopings for everyone.
family.
You get an ass whooping. You
For
get.
raising her wrong. Yeah.
I was mad at the dude or whatever, but I was more mad at my ex.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I
Because,
wasn't mad. I mean, I remember one time.
Because
Oh
she
my
made
God.
the decision to actually go do it. I mean, the guy ain't gonna say no.
Now, what if they don't
Most guys
know?
are not gonna
Yeah,
say no.
I
What if they
had
don't
a
know?
situation where
Yeah.
the girl was
It's a
she
friend, it's your
didn't
friend.
know
So she's oblivious
that
to the
my
fact that
She
ex
knew.
at the time was engaged.
She
She
knew.
didn't know.
She
No,
knew.
let me tell you how she didn't know. Such a great story.
I want to hear this.
So
one.
I.
Because when people always say they don't know.
Sit
When
back.
people,
No,
when people
let me
always say
tell,
they,
so this is how I knew that she didn't know because I had to actually console her. It was the weirdest
That's
thing
awkward.
ever.
Yeah,
It was very
that's
awkward. So I was engaged at the time, and my fiance started seeing someone else. Obviously, been unbeknownst to me, but the girl had the same name of a mutual friend. Right, so
Okay.
she would call the house and say, "Hey, is such and such home?" And I'd be like, "Oh, who's this?" Her name.
Same name.
And I'd be like, "Oh no, he's not home," thinking that it was
Someone else.
a friend, his friend that I
Yeah.
had met once or twice. And this went on for months. But she was calling like frequently towards, the latter part of the month. And so I went up to him and said, "Hey, such and such is, she's really like starting to cross this line. You need to talk to her, right? Let her know if she's catching other
How did he
feelings."
respond? He freaked
He's
out?
like, "Oh no, yeah, I'll talk to her." Yeah. He led me to believe it was that person. So moving forward, one day she calls and I'm at home washing dishes and we lived together. So our relationship was very, we were going to get married. And she calls and I'm like, "Hey, do you remember me?" She's like, "No." And I said, "Yeah, remember, blah, blah, blah. You have a daughter." Blah, blah. She's like, "No." And she's like, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm the fiance."
Yeah.
And the
Oh.
girl flipped. She just was torn to pieces.
Like you were the other woman.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, so apologetic. "I didn't know that bastard." I mean, she da-da-da. Move forward. And I'm like, "You need to get your ass home. We need to talk." He comes home and I'm like, "You need to call her and you need to tell her that you're engaged and you need to apologize." I mean, it took me like an hour on the phone with this girl too because she was young, she had babies, and she had wrapped her entire idea that remember, it's been months, that he was going somewhere with her. And because she was a young single mom.
So he destroyed two.
So he did.
two
He destroyed.
women.
He destroyed two relationships. But
That's
the
awful.
ironic thing is that I'm the one
Consoling the
having to
girl.
console.
And that shouldn't
let
be
me
your
tell
job.
you,
And you're going through a breakup
and
yourself
for
right
the
now.
And so this is where
Shouldn't
it
do that.
really killed me. That when I confronted him, he still made me try to think I was crazy. And called the mutual friend and said, "Hey, you need to stop calling. Rosie is like," and I'm like, "Why are you acting like a fool? You know that's not her. Hang up and call this woman, right?"
I know
And
her number now.
Everything that because I kept my cool, everything that I did not say to him, this other woman said. It was the most
Okay.
interesting.
She filled it in.
She made him feel this small over the phone. She was like, "Tell me where you live. I'm gonna come kill you." Like she was going crazy, and and that was the end of that. But I
Good thing he didn't tell the address.
could not.
Yeah.
Yes, I
You
could
should've.
not. I couldn't even
That's too
get
much.
mad at
I've
her.
seen some craziness like that too. Where,
Yeah, I
the
couldn't.
girl
I
actually
couldn't get
hide in the
married.
bushes.
No.
and stuff.
Right?
I think
Yeah.
I told this story before on the air.
We could have been.
Yeah.
We could have been. She and I could have
Oh.
become
No, actually,
friends
had-
easy
Oh,
because she
that's
was
right.
super
Yeah, yeah.
likable and
Yeah.
had
Oh,
babies
God.
and.
Yeah, and the other girl had came. They wasn't even together. Like he already moved on.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah,
That's
she.
crazy.
People
That's
do
extra-
craziness.
Isn't that
Yeah.
insane? And so for me,
Stigmatized, that's what that's called.
I lost complete respect for him because even though he was outed, he still lied to me. He was still trying to lie to me, and I'm like, wow, yeah, okay.
I don't even
no.
understand.
That's-
Yeah, at that
possible
point, I
that-
I can't even
You're
look
caught.
at you
What
the
are you
same.
lying?
How do
Yeah.
you comprehend something like
Yeah,
that?
I can't. How do you? That's like a complete breach of trust right there. You can't come from that, back from that.
No, you can, but
But
Not
yeah,
with
so
you.
I find it,
You
but
tell the
I find
truth.
it really
You tell the
interesting when
truth. You tell the
women get
truth.
upset with
But
the
females
lover.
are more forgiving than
Or
guys
do
are.
guys get upset with the lover? Well, yeah, right. You
Yeah.
guys beat their asses.
You know what I'm saying? I just beat the guy because it was my house.
Is it a mount? Oh,
This is
yeah.
my house.
Yeah, that's a whole nother line.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
disrespect. That's
true.
a whole line. Of
That
disrespect.
is true.
Now,
That
if
is
it was like a hotel, if I walked in a hotel, all right, cool, man, whatever. Y'all can continue doing whatever
But
y'all
you're in
want
my
to do.
place.
I mean, I would.
Yeah,
I would,
your place
you know,
with
With my
Right.
kids upstairs?
My
Yeah.
turn.
So
Oh, I
if
would've-
it was-
Oh,
if it
yeah.
was a
I think at
hotel,
that point,
I would have been
I
like
would-
this. All right, y'all done with the movie? All right, cool. Bam, I got this for the lawyer. Bam.
That's
You good. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have used that for. But no,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
house,
a different element.
I
your
hit the dude with the
kids in your
baseball bat and
house.
everything. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
You almost went to jail.
I did get the handcuffs though. I really did get the handcuffs, but I was sitting in the back seat of the car. You know, I had to explain it to all these people.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
the first time
That is insane, though.
Yeah. Even first time came to see me that night. You know what I'm saying? While I was there. So I was like, yeah. So I explained it to him. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, I probably would have did the same thing.
That's crazy. But yeah, no, I don't really get pissed off at the other. I mean, other than other elements like that, like you're in my bed doing this. Come on now, no class. I'll beat you just because you didn't have any class. But today the show went by really, really fast. Guys, chime in, send messages.
It wasn't even me, but it was another crazy.
Thanks for hitting me up afterwards and sending up your questions. I will do my best to post them up for next week. So excited that. There you are, Trey and Mark came through, and
I definitely came in.
King and I, we hopefully we kept the conversation going and hot tonight.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
I had a
absolutely.
blast.
See, this is why I love coming on.
I was like, all right.
You come back next week.
All right. Yeah.
Send your questions, guys. Sex, love, and relationships.
Ooh.
Heat.
King Takeshi, the wet master. We out.